wanted to share a little story about a dream that I had. Now, normally I share about books. And so then sometimes I just share other shit. So I just thought this dream was so unique that why not share it? So, and then I had to ask my friend about the dream. When I have these really unique dreams and I can't really define what it's all about, I'll ask him to kind of tell me, what's going on, right? And he's usually on point. And so the dream was about, well, I'll explain. There were bears coming out of this bathroom cabinet. Strange, I know. So it's a little tiny bathroom, and there's not room for a toilet. It's just a sink with a cabinet, two doors, and then little tiny bears, cubs, start coming out of this cabinet. Now, I am taking the bears and trying to get them to safety. So, right outside the door of the bathroom is a pool, a swimming pool. It's not a big pool, but the water is rising. So I am taking the bears and I'm flinging them to the other side to get to safety. As the water rises, I'm just flinging the bears. Now, some of the bears are landing in the water and they're treading water, right? They're treading water and some of them are getting to the landing. So as the water keeps rising, bigger bears start coming out of the cabinet. So now they're too big for me to even fling. And the water is getting all the way up to the top. So much so that the water is now seeping out of the pool. So you know how like when it rains and then there's a swimming pool and it's just like, okay, the pool is overflowing now because it's at its capacity. So the little bears are treading water. The big bears are treading water. They're swimming because that's what they do. So I can no longer help them. I can't help the little bears. I can't help the big bears. So I instantly wake up at the point that I can no longer help them. The water's too high and there's too many bears because the bears keep coming. It's like a clown car. They just keep coming out, right? So when I shared this with my friend, he said, you don't need to help your children anymore. They are old enough, they're grown up. You don't need to worry about them. They're going to be okay. He didn't say it that way, but basically, they are old enough and they will figure it out. They'll be able to do this on their own. You don't need to try to get them to safety, to rescue them, and they can swim. You know how we say, the bird, they kick them out of the nest and then they fly. Well, the same thing with my children, right? The same thing with your children. They will figure it out, right? So in my dream, I knew that I had to just step back because it was just too much for me. It was too much for me to handle, right? The water's rising. There's more bears than I can handle. I can't do anything. The water's overflowing and they know how to swim. They have the ability to do what I'm thinking they don't even know how to do, right? I'm trying to help them and they have the skills, right? And I just had to just say, you know what? I can't help anymore. So I hope this helps someone because it was just such an awakening for me. And so I will forever remember the bear story with the bear dream because it's profound for me as a parent. And so I hope for you, if you are helping someone, anyone, it doesn't even have to be your child, it could be a family member. Are you helping too much? Are you doing too much? Have you decided to just step away and say it's going to be okay? Because what I found in every situation, if I just step away and I let the person be, I let the situation be, then it works itself out. it soon just does what it's supposed to do. The situation happens the way it's supposed to happen. Everything transpires the way it's supposed to transpire, and everybody's fine. So I hope this story helped you, and it 'cause it really hit home for me. And as a parent, we'll just be worried about our kids and are they going to be okay? What's going to happen if I'm gone or whatever? But they will be, right? They're going to swim even when the tide gets high, when the swimming pool gets high, they can swim. They can tread water. They can go through that difficult situation, right? Because those little cubs did have other bears, right? They had others around them that had showed them how to swim. So they all didn't need me, right? So take care. See you next time.